Obi-Dient Generation TV, changing the paradigm.
Obedient Generation Movement, changing the paradigm. Changing the paradigm, Obedient Generation Movement. I greet you, my fellow Obedients all over the world. I greet you wherever you are. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Wherever you are hearing my voice at this point in time and at the time that you are getting my message. My name remains Comrade Korim Chidebere. I am the leader of Obedient Generation Movement as well as the Obedient Generation TV presenter. Just as I told you in our manifesto as Obedient Generation Movement, I told you that our work will not stop when after the election. Rather, our work will continue even after the election, because obedience is a movement and has metamorphosed from a movement into a family. It has also metamorphosed from a family into ideology, and it has become an ideological movement. So it is a generational thing. It's a switch. It's a kind of changeover between the old generation and the new generation, who want to change Nigeria, who want to bring a newness of opportunities, newness of advancement, newness of invention, newness of every aspect of life to the country called Nigeria. In Obedient Generation Movement, we have been able to conquer a lot of things that has been sold, a lot of ideologies that was sold by the older generations. They sold to us impunity. They sold to us tribalism and nepotism, ethnicity, ethnic divisions, and religious division and sentiments. They have sold to us corruption. They have sold to us a lot of negative vibes that has kept this country at a place, not moving an inch. So we have grown up and we have studied, and some of us have traveled, and we have discovered that these things that they have sold to us are not the way to go. So we decided that we are going to uproot this old order and install a new order. That is what gave birth to Obedient Movement. Starting from the NSAS, when the Nigerian youth haven't fed up with the system that keep molesting its own citizens, killings and a lot of negative things happening around us, we stood up to challenge that status quo. Yes, they killed us. We retired into our shells, waiting for an opportunity to prove to them that we are not tired, even though we're retired. Now, Obedient Movement surfaced through a man, Peter Obi, and the running mate, Baba Ahmed Dati. So, this has become a new order. This has become the new order of the new generation. So, we are not going to stop. We are going to continue. So, in today's episode, I have come to x-ray some of the things that happened, especially as it concerns the rigging of the just concluded presidential election, and what we are expected to do in the upcoming governorship and state House of Assembly elections. So now, what I am here to, sell to us, or to enlighten us, to make us to know, is to let us to know what the old order, which we are trying to dismantle, their fears, and what they thought that we removed from them which is their tools. They want to bring it back, or they want to bring them back. The system that they want to use to bring it back is this rigging of this election, which by the grace of God is not going to stand. So I'm here today to tell you what those who rigged the election wanted to achieve. Number one, they want to sustain a system of impunity, a system whereby a corrupt officials will be doing bad thing. Somebody in power, a governor, a sitting governor, will be controlling thugs, using thugs to work to achieve his own political desire, and nobody will question him or challenge him. Rather, people will be hailing him. This is impunity. A system whereby an INEC chairman will go against his own electoral laws and guidelines to declare a presidential candidate as president-elect, regardless of people's protests, regardless of irregularities that mark the process. This is impunity. That is what they want to sustain. So if they go ahead and achieve this particular feat, they have enthroned impunity once more. And this is what we are here to challenge. And this is what Obi-Dient movement stands for. And this is what we stand against. Number two, they want to sustain that tribal and ethnic and religious division and the sentiment. In this election that they rigged, that is what they want to achieve. What they did their own permutation. They now took votes from the Yoruba land and allocated it to Tinubu, even though that where Obi won accurately, they took all of them and allocated to Tinubu with large margins. Then they come to Southeast, knowing that there is no how Tinubu will win in the Southeast. They allocated the vote to Peter Obi. Coming to the North, they once more took some of the votes in the North and gave to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Kwankwaso. This they are doing, trying to tell us that we are still voting along tribal lines. They are doing this to still tell us that we are still voting along ethnic and religious lines and sentiments. While we, Obi-Dient family, has decided not to do this anymore. We have decided to work against the tribal arrangement, which is their tool they use in holding us down. Having fear that they will be losing out, they try to reintroduce these particular tools so that people will think that we are still divided along religion and tribal and ethnic lines. Number three, they wanted to sustain the corruption and the corrupt practices that they have enthroned over the years. For INEC of official INEC chairman to have become an accomplice in this rigging of this election, for them to collect money, almost 1 trillion naira, to secure a server and a beaver system that's supposed to be a state of the art. Look at what is happening. They are telling me that the presidential election, which is holding in around Nigeria, that the few number of polling units that we have in Nigeria cannot be able to transmit results to that beavers, which is hosted by a server. Do you know what is a server? I am a computer scientist. Even my laptop here can even serve as a beta server to receive those information all around Nigeria. Yes, my laptop here can serve as a very good server to receive those informations all around Nigeria. How many polling units do we have? that somebody is telling me that we can't be able to upload information, not as if as they are uploading it at the same time. This information are being uploaded at different times by different individuals at different polling units and locations all around Nigeria. Just check what Google server can do. Millions of people are surfing the net on Google server at the same time. I mean, at the same time. At every point in time, you have more than 100 million of persons surfing Google server at the same time. Still yet, Google server is not shutting down. Then you're telling me that the server that will secure almost 1 trillion naira to install cannot access information that are not even transmitted at a time. This is corruption. This is corrupt practices. They want to sustain it. That is what they want to achieve by rigging this election. Number 4, they want to sustain a system of nepotism. A system whereby the political office holders give an unfair advantage to their own families. You cannot get job as a youth after graduation unless you are a family member of a politician. Regardless of your qualifications, regardless of your experiences, they will rather take somebody that is a dunce and put in a position than to put a qualified person. That is the system that they want to sustain, and that is what we are here to challenge. I am saying these things so that you will understand why you are a member of an Obi-Dient movement. Some of us are started giving up because you don't understand why you are a member of this movement called Obi-Dient movement. This is a generation. This is Obi-Dient generation. We are a generation of a people that want to change things. So you don't need to chicken out easily. You don't need to give up easily. Okay? So we must continue to pressure. We must continue to work. In fact, the most task ahead of us now is to retire as many governors of the old order as possible. We have a job at hand now to retire as many as possible of the governors of the old order and bring in governors of the new order via Labour Party that we are going to hold accountable, not those who will be threatening our life with fire and brimstone. So number 5, they want to sustain what we call political intimidation. Political intimidation, or what we call cash and carry governance or transactional governance, whereby you can only come into power or you can only occupy a political position depending on how much you have to pay your way out. That is the system that they want to sustain. So they continue telling us that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and we don't know when that tomorrow will come. Because I am above 40 as it is today. I'm above 40, regardless of the youngness of my face. I'm above 40, and some of these people, they have started being in office when they were in their early 30s and even late 20s, and they have sustained in power up till now, refusing to go away and continue telling us that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. When will that tomorrow be? This can only be sustained when they keep this system that promotes political intimidation. That is what we are here to dismantle. That is what we are here to challenge. So you, as an Obi-Dient member of the movement, have to understand this. Okay? So number 6. So what else? What they have come to sustain is a corrupt judicial system. A corrupt judicial system whereby the hope of a common man, in fact, there is no longer a hope for a common man, because when you are intimidated, you cannot go to court, because the court must surely come against you. They must surely rule against you because the whole system is corrupt when the money can buy anybody in Nigeria. So we want to uproot that system of corrupt judiciary, corrupt justice system. We want to uproot it. That is why we are here. And that is what they want to sustain by rigging this election. So I encourage you to remain focused, remain determined to change this old system. It is a duty that we must accomplish. So never give up. Number 7, what they want to sustain is embezzlement of public fund. Embezzlement of public fund with impunity. Somebody will be awarded contracts, the person will eat the money, and nobody will ask question. Because they are in the system together, it has become a system that when you become a new government official, they will purposely give you a contract and purposely ask you not to execute the contract. And by so doing, they have tied you with that long rope of corruption. They continue tying everybody that they see in the system with the same rope of corruption, so that by the time you want to rise against them, they will draw that rope on your leg and then remind you that you have been given a contract that you did not execute. That if you raise an alarm, they will raise an alarm against you, thereby making you to keep quiet forever and allow impunities to sustain and allow corruption to sustain. This is what they want to sustain by rigging this election. Okay? Then they also want to sustain what they call godfatherism. Like what is happening in Rivers State. The person that PDP is projecting to become the governor of Rivers State has no one day done a campaign for himself. It is only Wike that is doing campaign for him. Now, the same way that they did campaign for Abuari in 2015 and 2019, and today we are seeing the dividend of the democracy. The same way they are bringing in whoever that they want to rule, so that they will continue to sustain this system of impunity. So they want godfatherism to continue. But we are here to challenge the status quo. We are here to dismantle that. Excuse me. So they want also to continue the system of extortion in Okada. Extortion is a system whereby somebody threatens you to give him money or give him something or land or anything, because if you don't, they will either sack you or they will kill you or they will do harm to you. That is what is called extortion. That is what is happening in all cadres of governance in Nigeria. The law enforcement agency becoming the worst. The police is the champion, extorting money from the motorists on the highways. If you refuse, they will park you there forever, or sometimes they will shoot the person. They will take you to an unknown destinations. I was coming back from Anambra the other day, just that a guy have with him supplements, all these supplements that they sell. The guy have it in his pocket. The police, this is what they call SARS, or what they call them, saw these guys, stopped them, and accused the guy that was a drug. The guy told him that he wanted a drug, it was a polycarb supplement. This guy, they held this guy there for over 30 minutes. We are waiting for these guys. At the end, they succeeded in taking 50,000 naira from these guys. So taking 50 forcefully, this guy transferred 50,000 naira to them. That is extortion. It's cut across the army, it cut across the police, it cut across the civil defense, even the road safety now. What they do is to mount roadblocks and collect 500 naira from every bus driver. If you don't, they will park you there forever. Those things are the system that they want to sustain. And these are the system that they want to dismantle. So we must do that. It's a task that must achieve. We will stop to nothing to make sure that Peter Obi reclaim his mandate. Everything doable within the ambit of law, we must do it to make sure that Peter Obi reclaim his mandate, and that we change these old orders by voting out these old politicians that has entrenched the system with corruption. They want to sustain what we call political patronage. Political patronage, which is a system whereby they give help and job to political loyalists. Just like as Buhari came and said that he is for nobody and he is for somebody and he's for nobody. Now, he also told some people that they are 5% among the people that voted for him. Within our eyes, they practice all that they said. They allocated jobs to only their party members, allocated jobs to only their tribemen, and allocated jobs to only those who are loyal to them, their party loyalists. If you dare say anything against their politics or their party, you lose your job. This is what is called political patronage, and this is what they want to sustain, and this is what we want to dismantle. They want to sustain a system of grafts whereby they use illegal and bribery to gain advantage over businesses and political posts, just as the INEC chairman has just done, using bribery and corruption to sustain and acquire positions in authority. That is graft. This is what we want to dismantle. We want to remove all these selfish politicians that always use the youth, for their own selfish gain. That is what we want to dismantle. They want to sustain the banditry and the terrorism going on in Nigeria. The terrorism that cannot take Nigeria more than 2 years to finish, or at least reduce to minimal, have lasted for decades because people are benefiting from it. People in politics are benefiting from it. They want to sustain oil bunkering, whereby the country, Nigeria, that is producing oil is importing fuel and paying subsidy. This is what they want to sustain, and this is what we are ready to dismantle via the candidacy of Peter Obi and Baba Ahmed Dati. So they want to sustain an irresponsible and nonchalant attitude to governance. That is what they want to sustain, and that is what we want to dismantle. So I challenge you, you that call yourself an Obi-Dient, you have to know the reason why you became a member of this movement. You have to know the reason why, or the driver behind this movement called Obi-Dient movement. I am Comrade Karim Chidebere. I am the leader of Obi-Dient Generation movement. Obi-Dient Generation movement is a subset of Obi-Dient movement. It is a support group, because Obi-Dient movement is a global movement with several support groups. So Obi-Dient Generation movement is a support group that is promoting the Obi-Dient movement. And our slogan is changing the paradigm. Changing the paradigm means we're going to change the old way of doing things. We're going to change the old order. We're going to change the way of reasoning, our way of reasoning. Not giving in to this enthronement of tribal sentiments, religious sentiments, religious division, tribal division, ethnicity, and all that. Not giving into it. Those are the old order. This is what we want to change. That is the paradigm we want to change. We want to change the paradigm whereby somebody is given a job. He will not base his living in his salary. He will base his living in what will come by the side in form of bribery and corruption. This is what we want to change. We want to change the system whereby a student will go to school, he will not study because he knows that he has political godfather, that whether he read his book or not, that he must surely get job. We want to change the system whereby somebody who is not qualified will be occupying the position of an office. This is what we want to change. So I beseech you, dear Obedient movement member, dear youth of Nigeria, dear well-meaning citizens of Nigeria, both mama, papa, and pikin. Both mama, papa, and pikin. Yes, because in Obedient movement we have papa, mama, and pikin. That is our mothers, our fathers, and the youths. And the youths being at the middle of the movement. That is why you have the papa by the side, mama by the side, and the pikin at the middle. So the obedient youths are at the forefront and at the middle of this movement, driving it. We must surely reach our destination through the name of Almighty. I thank you. Share this video and make it to go viral. Let every obedient member receive this video and listen to this and know why we must continue and why we must go out and vote out all the others. Thank you very much. I remain your friend, your brother, and your co-partner in this struggle, trying to change the paradigm. Thank you very much, and share this video.